Assalamu alaikum, welcome everyone. Thank you for joining us for the second day. I think just a few seconds to look at the plan. I can see a good number is joining, and that's really good. Okay. Yeah, I think we are on time, so we'll start. Thank you again for joining. Based on our plan, which I'll share screen just to show you our plan. Today we have to do Java, but this is the bigger plan, just as a reminder for everyone. Yesterday we have done the artificial intelligence for university student. I think Ivy sent you the link. I know some of you had issues to access it from Microsoft Stream, so we added it to Blackboard, to YouTube, and you can access it from YouTube. So that we did yesterday. Today, for the next 4 sessions, today and tomorrow, Monday, today and Wednesday, then Monday and Tuesday, we'll be doing Java programming. There are 4 sessions. And after that, we'll do Python. And then you will get into the productivity tools and the study skills. And this way we will, inshallah, conclude our sessions. So for today, we will be talking about Java programming. As we did last time, if you have questions, just raise your hand at any time. Write it in the chat or in the Q&A box. There is a Q&A on the page you see now. Let me maybe bring this one here. So you have here a Q&A. This one is good for questions. If you have a question, so I can answer it directly. The chat is for discussing, sharing some of your knowledge and things like that. It's good. But the Q&A is the best for asking questions because I can track it. And I know this is a question, not just a comment or a feedback. So please use the Q&A. Raise your hand. I want you to practice as well. As we discussed last time, if you want to do well in programming, you should practice in anything in life. You need to watch, do, discover, and get feedback. So that cycle, we need to continue to do it. So today we'll talk about Java programming. Why we selected Java programming, not another language. We have Java and Python, but we started with Java first for a number of reasons. One is most university, engineering, IT related programs and other areas as well, they require you to study Java programming. So Java will be there in most of them to do. So that's one thing. So we prepare you for that. And the other reason, if you learn Java, it will be easy to learn any other language. You will see that clearly because Java has a very strong concept of programming, and it's a little more maybe structures than other languages. And once you learn it well, then you can learn Python, you can learn Java script, which is similar to one, you can learn PHP, you can learn C language, C#, all the other languages you will be able to learn, hopefully. That's the one thing. The second thing. The third thing is industry is using Java a lot. Python gaining more now momentum in many areas, but Java is strong in the industry, and systems like Oracle system, which one of the biggest, largest, well-established business database application. One, Java is part of their system. So Java is a very strong mobile apps. They have Java in the back. And when they created Java, they were thinking how they create a language that can work on any device. And that was in 1991. We'll see that later. So these are three things will make Java is a good language to start with. So what we're aiming from this one, by the end of the course, I would expect you to be able to write debug. Debug means fixing errors in Java programs. Using core Java syntax, we'll do a little bit of object-oriented principles or programming to do. Then you will be able also to design and implement Java program to solve real problems. Now this, we're not doing a full course, but we're just getting you into that. But you will be able to do some application that really will solve problems to do. You will get some skills on how to read to file, read from write to files, use some different Java library and things like that. What's more important, in my opinion, is the last one. We want to equip you with the skills, knowledge that you can learn on your own. Nowadays, if you wait for someone to come and teach you, you will be behind because things are going too fast. Resources are also available. So you need to build the skills that you learn on your own. You don't depend on the teacher, the faculty, or professor, or whoever to teach you. You should be able to learn on your own. And through this, hopefully you will get that skills and you start doing what you're supposed to be doing. Now we get into Java programming. The history started in 1991. It's a long time ago for some of you, for sure, as a student. This is a long time ago for you. For us, no, it's not. I started using Java in 1994. That's the time I started. So in 1991, they started and they had a project called WAC, project group in Sun Microsystem. Sun Microsystem, where at that time is a big company who develop computers, mainframe computers that is connected to network and very sophisticated and great machines. They run something called Unix operating system, and later came Linux and those things. So Sun Microsystem is the one who started Java group. There, they said, let's come with a new language that can work on any device, and this can be secured and can be structured as well, and things like that. So they started and created this WAC project. After some time, they renamed it to Java, and they released the first public Java one is in 1995 to do, and then started to do develop that one, creating additional features until 2010. Oracle acquired Sun Microsystem, became part of Oracle, and Oracle started pushing it, and they released version 7, which they thought is a significant improvement on the previous version, and started until now there is 22 version available for you if you want to start using it. Now, what are the key fundamental features or benefits or strength of Java programming compared to other programming languages? Other languages, they share something similar, but the strength is in the list we have here, and we'll go through it quickly. So the first one is a platform independent. When you hear platform here, means different devices, can be a mobile phone, can be a mainframe computer, can be a big server using, can be Unix, can be Windows, can be any operating system. So platform is operating system, hardware together. So Java created to work on any device to do. because they do not create a binary system. They create something called bytecode. And they have something called run environment. I don't want to complicate it for you now, but they created as architecture that make it work on any device. That one thing to do. So if you write the code, you put it on another device, it will work exactly as it is. You don't need to change it because now it's running on Linux or running on Windows. The other thing, it's one of the early adapters of object-oriented. C++ was early as well, Pascal language, but Java is built from the beginning as an object-oriented programmer. What does it mean, object-oriented? It's a methodology of programming that make creating large, complex code is easy to do and manageable. You can manage it and you can understand it, and you can have multiple teams working on the same project without getting confused about the coding. So it's a mechanism of structuring the code into something called classes, objects, packages, and things like that to do. So Java is object-oriented, which nowadays there's no programming language is not object-oriented, because programming languages now, they use code from different other languages. So if you open your browser is communicating with so many different platforms, different languages you do. It's a simple and familiar. Now, simple and familiar, especially for those coming from C and C++. C and C++ has some more complicated things, pointers and memory handling and things like that. Java made these things much easier to do for the programmers and make it much simpler. It is also secure because provide you control on everything to make it public, private, protected, hide the code, and allow you to verify the code before running it and things like that. And it has multi-threaded. Multi-threaded is important when you run multiple things at the same time in your program. And great example is gaming. When you get into this gaming, there's so many objects and things moving at the same time, and it's running simultaneously together. So how you can allow that? Other languages in the past, they are sequential. They allow you to run one thing, and when it's finished, you run the other thing. But now you need them all to run at the same time. Multi-threading is the one to do that. It is robust, means it has a very strong memory management. It doesn't crash that easily because of the memory became full. It has a mechanism of cleaning the memory from unused information, allocation of the memory. It has some strong memory management techniques that help people to use. It's high performance. High performance, it works on large data, but it's little slower than C language because it has something called bytecode, which in between binary code and text. So slowly, but nowadays with the supercomputers and fast computers, that is not an issue anymore. It's distributed, means you can create codes on different machines, on different operating system, and they can work with each others like they are one system. So that you can distribute your code, and distributed system is one of the key topics that in industry. Dynamic, support dynamic linkage, loading of data and memories, binding classes and method, hiding them and showing them, and moving data to them faster. So it uses a very dynamic way to operate, and it has a rich library. There are thousands of code files and libraries and that you can use to do specific things for you. Like, for example, if you want to do computer vision, you want to look at someone's face, and from his face you recognize his identity, or you look at a car plate and you extract data, or you do, there are libraries already there that you just call it and provide specific data to it, and it will do the thing for you. So these things takes years to develop, and when giving that the libraries are already there, this will speed your performance. So these are some of the key features of Java programming. So how I can get Java programming on my machine? There are multiple ways. One of it, you go to Oracle, because Oracle now on it, as we said. And Oracle AE/Java. If you go there, you will find all different versions. And as you can see, Java 22 is available now. And you select the operating system. Is it Linux or Mac or Windows? And based on that, you download it. So I'm not going to take you through this route, because this will better if you are in the campus here, and I can support you with it, because you need to do some installation and things like that. So I'm introducing you to something exactly the same. You can do everything, the program, the code to do, but through a web browser. You don't need to install anything on your computer. And this is called Repl.it. Repl.it is an amazing platform. It's just Repl.it.com. You go there, you register using any of these social media accounts. If you can use your Google account if you want, or you can use GitHub if you have GitHub, Facebook, or Apple, or you just register using your own account. You can sign up here with your own username and password. And this will give you the full thing. We will go through it. Good thing with Repl.it, you will not only program in Java, you will be able to program in around 42 languages just through this browser. And you create very good software. And you can also deploy it, link it to database. It's a big system. So you don't need to install anything on your computer. You can practice everything on Repl.it. When you come to the university, we will get you a lab, we'll get you all the things you need to do. So we'll come to it. Don't do anything now with Repl.it. Just listen to me. When you come to the practice, we have a section, then we'll go through the whole thing, setting the account and creating our first code and debugging it and fixing it, improving it, and things like that. I want you to get the concept now, because these concepts are very important for you. I can see there are some questions being added. What language is used in quantum computing? Quantum computing has a new language for it, its own language related to Web3 technology, and that's where you get into that. Okay. The second good question is why a quantum needed its own language? Because a different thing, completely different hardware, software, operating system. So this is why it needs its own. Okay. The second question from Khalid: what are the different coding languages used? Why don't they really in one code language like C? Yeah, okay. This is good questions. There are different languages for different purpose. There are languages for general purpose like C, Java, and things. There are others created for specific purpose. If, for example, if you're building computer simulation or you're working on 3D modeling, those things, there are other languages specific for it. Now, why people came with these different languages? Because they're addressing different issues. C, when it created, was very strong, closer to the machine language, and it has a strong hardware integration. So if you want to create robots and things like that, C language was the best option for you at that time, because you can write directly to the hardware, to the memory, to the integrated circuits, to things like that, and you perform real thing. Okay, but with the development of new technologies, because became now writing to those hardware is easier, because the company started creating a layer for every software. They call it firmware, which allow that thing. So people started, why don't we simplify it? Come with something simplified. Came with Java. Why they came with Java? Because again, they wanted to run on every device. The C language, if you compile it on Linux, it will run only on Linux. If you compile it in Windows, it will run only on Windows. It will not run on the other machine. So they said, why don't we have to expand it and make the same code work everywhere? They came with the Java. Recently, Python became more popular because of the data analytics skills of it, of the library it has, and because it's a very simple language to write, and becomes more popular now to do. But Python is not strong in web applications. If you want to create a web application, Python is not the best for it. There are tools you can build on top of Python to do that, but it's not there. It's better for analyzing data, doing core functionalities, but not on creating web application. But Java can do that to do. So these languages came by different group to address different problems they're thinking of. I hope I answered your question, but C is a great language. Okay, these are the two questions. This is good, so please put the questions. I'll come back to more questions because I need to make some progress, and then I'll come back to other. I'm just browsing to see if there is. Yes, yeah. I think I explained why we're using Java, although Python is easier to do. Let's move ahead. Now, what are the fundamentals of programming? Regardless of Java, Python, C, PHP, all those languages, there are core fundamentals, has similarity everywhere. In any language you study, there are core things. If you master them, then you become great programmers, and you will learn any other language to do. These things are related to thinking and problem solving skills. So the first thing called sequence. In any programming language, there should be a sequence. Sequence means what? Look at yourself when you want to drive your car. Okay, you want to drive your car. So you come to your car. Can you start driving the car without opening the door and going inside? At the moment, you need to open the door and go inside, isn't it? So you open the door and you go inside your car. That's the first step. It cannot be done unless you do that. Then you put your feet on the brake, and then you start the engine. If without doing that, the engine will not start. At least the cars we have now, we're dealing with. And then after that, there are steps you have to take in a sequential way to operate anything. And this is even now you're joining this meeting. To come into the meeting, you need to log into your computer. You need to click on Microsoft Teams. You need to click on the link, and then you get into this software. There's other option. Maybe you can go to the email, you click on the link, and then open Microsoft Teams. The sequence is important. So building the right sequence will produce the right outcome. Sometimes the sequence is critical. You cannot do step one without step two. Sometimes you can alternate, do step two, then do step one. But at least you need to finish the two steps to be able to do that. So the sequence is actually the order of instructions or statement of code that you need to operate. And this is something we will spend some time on it today. Most of what we'll do today will be around sequence to do. The next one is selections. There are cases when you need to choose between left, right, okay, or going forward or going backward. So you need to have based on certain parameters. If something happened, then you do that to do. So this where we can use something called if, else, there's some nested if, there's something called switch, something called case. These are things we can use to select between different options. For example, to give an example, if you look at car insurance, okay? So if you have a new car you're purchasing and has a value, based on that value, there is a rate to be done. So if the value between this and this, you pay that, between this and that, you do that. So the next step depends on condition or on if statement or on a switch statement. So we'll spend some time doing it, and this is the programming logic. I think by now, most of you have done some sort of programming before to do. How to do if statement in Java is different from how you do it in Python or in just trying to find a different language, because C is the same like you do it in. So the syntax, this we call it syntax, the way you write it is different, and we'll see that to do. But the concept is the same. There's a condition has to be met. If the answer is yes or true, then you do something. If the answer is no or false, you do something else. That's what it is. So we'll spend some time on if statement and do that. The next one is looping or iteration. Assume you want to write your name 100 times. One way, you just write the statement to write the name 100 times. But this is waste of time. What if you want million? If you want, it becomes very complicated. So the language has a way to loop into things. You give one line, and then it goes through that line and repeat it for you any number of times you want to repeat, or until a condition is false. There can be not only one line, can be multiple lines that you want to repeat to do. So the looping is, or iteration, is a concept that you need to know. And here we will be using something called for loop. We'll use something called do while, and something called while. We will see the differences between them, and when we use this one, when we use that one, and the best way to do that. So we'll go through that. So mastering how you do looping is important. Then comes how I deal with a very big program. Do you know how many line of code created to create Microsoft Word? Give me a guess on the chat. How many line of code being used to create Microsoft Word? Let me hear from you. Can see where is the chat? No one said anything. Yeah, 100 lines of code. One said 10,000. Very good. 6,300. 100 millions. Oh, very good. Now ask your friend ChatGPT on this one. How many lines of code used to create Microsoft Word?
30 million.
Here is the answer. 50 millions. Around 50 millions. So if you're writing a code that is 50 millions line of code, okay, how you will manage that one? You will not be able to manage it unless you divide it into files and divide it into functions or method or classes or object. So you need to structure your code, and structuring the code will help you manage the code. For small codes programs, structuring doesn't make significant difference. But when you do huge code like Microsoft Word or Excel or the operating system itself, Windows or Mac, this is huge. So you need to structure it in a way where each file or group of files, we call it package, are having specific objective or purpose to do, and clearly you understand how you can use them and other people can use them. So modularity is important, and here comes what we call it functions or methods. Java call it methods, C call it functions, other languages also call it functions, but Java call it methods. This is the people who created Java, they called it methods. You ask me why? Uh, I can't speak to them because difficult to do. So and then came the object oriented. So you can divide it into files, and each file has a specific thing. You can group file and make them into a package to do, and then you can organize the large code where you clearly understand each one what it does in doing that. Yes, very good. Yeah, I can see a comment here, very nice, from Noel. So this modularity is important. We know it, and we will go through some of that later. So let's get now in our first Java code, how it look like, and then we'll go and do the practical one. So if you want to create any Java program, you should have it at least in a class. So you need a class. So this is how it's structured, okay? Let's go through this one. I did some animation for you here. So the first one called public. Public is here, we call it access modifier. This is in Java, it's in C, in C Sharp, in all languages almost. This allow to decide who can access this file, who can access this file. And giving it public means anyone can access it. Of course, your main application, main program has to be public, because if it's not public, nobody can use it, the first interface. But the other files you have, they can be protected on their own. You don't see my screen? Someone said there is no screen sharing. Abdullah, maybe you need to do something. Everybody's seeing it. I think maybe you need to click on your page somewhere, but there is screen sharing. But just to make it easy for you, I'll stop sharing, then I will share again, just to make it easy for you to see it. Now I hope sharing came on your screen again. Okay, so public means this is like the gate, the door. Who can come through that door? If you want, for your first code, the main code you have, you should give it public so people can come to it inside. Then after that, it's important to use the word class. There is no Java code that is written without being part of a class. So class is must. You must have the word class, okay? On the public one, there are public, there are private, there are protected. We'll come to them later. Now you don't need it because you'll be working with the main class. In the main class, they are all the same, okay? So class must be there. Then comes the class name. Now the class name has three conditions that are important. First one, it should not have any, should not start by a number, should have, or any special sign, should be letter to do. So you cannot say one hello world, that will not, okay? We call it now hello world, or call it anything you want to go, okay? The second thing, there should be no space in the name. I cannot say hello space world. It doesn't work. Have to be just one word. The third one, your file name, which you store, you save this file in, must have the same name exactly. If it's hello world, your file name should be hello world.java. If it's main, should be main.java. If it is game or whatever game it is, that name.java to be. So otherwise, your code will not run. So the name should be exactly the same file name. There should be no space on it. It should be text, and plain text is the best thing. And there's one more to that. They call it naming convention. For programmers to agree, just this is agreement, gentleman agreement. The code will have no issue with it, the programming, but it is gentleman agreement, is that the first letter of the class name or the file name should be uppercase. Why? Because now programmers, they all agreed the first one is uppercase. When they want to guess what is the name of the class, they know the first letter is uppercase. So this is a third one. So these are three things. Then you should have a starting block, which this bracket or brace you have, which open brace. That means from here, the code will start. And then I'm trying to be very slow, just for those who are new to this. I know some of you maybe already have these skills, but I want everybody to be on the page. And then you have closing. So these two here, opening and closing, that means this is your beginning, this is the end of your code. If you add anything extra, another bracket down, you will cause a problem for yourself, because that now you're confusing the code to do. So this is the main structure of the class. From modifier to using the word class to naming your class, and then open bracket, and then you do that. Now inside, you need at least one main function or method. At least one main method, because we are Java now, we need to remember we say method. What that main method, this is how it's written. Again, this you need to remember it as it is. It has to be public because it's the main one. How you will call it if it's not public? It has to be static. The word static means there is no other function in your code called main. If you have another file has main, there's no main. There's only one main method. And void means this one does not return back any value. We will come to all this when we come to the functions. And then string, it means it takes data as text, string, as array of string. And for now, just remember it as it is. Public static void main string arguments. This is the main function. In C, it's only main without public static void. You say it. I said Java became simpler, but now became complicated. But this is one of the debate on Java with people. The main function, it's long to do, but because they need to put lots of control. So public static void main string argument. Okay, this you need to remember it as your name. Most tools we will be using, Repl and others, will create this one for you by default. You don't need even to create it. Then, for like any other code, it has a start for that main method and has an end for the main method. So this braces has to be equal in terms of number of open and number of closed. Yeah, they should be. I have here one open, two open here, and two close here. Otherwise, things will be similar to JavaScript and other. Python doesn't use any of these braces or thing like that. We'll come to Python. We have a very nice Python course coming after this one, yeah? So this is the main function. Now we have a class we created our file. We have a main function, but there's nothing inside the main function. The one we will do is this simple one. This is just single line. What does this line do? Display a message on the screen, which called system.out.println, and then open bracket, quotation, and then the text you want to display. We'll do lots of practice on this things here. Okay, so this is the line that print anything on the screen, displayed something on the screen. This is the one. So it has to be exactly the same thing. Like you notice system is capital. This tells you system is a class. Okay, dot out This is the method in that class, and this is a sub method of that one. So there is system out println, and then you have this thing you need to display. What's important in Java and C is the semicolon. This semicolon, you need it at the end of almost every line, except if statement. The line has if statement, the line has else, the line has for, the line has do, or switch case. These lines will not require it, but the other lines that does process, they must have a semicolon. If you don't have semicolon, your code will not work to do. So you need a semicolon at the end. In Python, there is no semicolon. We don't need semicolon. Okay, we'll come to Python when we come to Python. Just so if we do this code, what it will do, it will display hello world on the screen. Okay, so now you have an idea of the structure of the code. So let's get into practice. So we need to now do some coding ourselves. So let's get into some practice, and let's start by getting in our Repl, and we'll do that. Let me bring Repl here. Okay, and I think I have done two windows. Yeah, let me take my browser in the second one, so I can switch between this one and this one. So if I want to show you anything, it can come there. So let's get into Repl. Repl.it.com, that's the address you need to go. Once you get here, I'm already logged in, as you can see. So let me just log out for you to see. So when you come, you'll get to something like this. You can sign up for free. And when you sign up, you get this window where you can select one of the social media. I use my Google one to log in. That's more convenient. So I'll go there. And now I am in Repl.it. Now you sign your Repl.it. And once you sign your Repl.it, you come to this page. Let me give you a few seconds, a few minutes, so you can do that. The screen isn't sharing. You are right. I wasn't sharing screen. Okay, let me go back. So now what I did, I went into Repl.it and came here. Let me log out just to show you how it looked like. So when I get here, I see this screen. I need to click on sign up. Sign up, you can sign up using your Google account, and then you will be fine. Or if you use GitHub, I'm not sure you have GitHub. If you are in your university or school, usually they will give you something called single sign-on. But for now, use Google. If you don't want to use Google, you want to create your own one, you can create your own one using just a username and password. But just use Google. It's the best and most convenient. You don't need to remember anything in the future. Now, when you sign in, you get to this page. Thank you, Abdullah, for putting the address in the chat. You are great. Okay, I see the questions there. What the difference between coding and Python? We will come. Don't rush in these differences. You will go now through Java, we'll finish it, then we'll go into Python. You will clearly see the differences because you'll see it in practice, not only me saying it and you don't understand what it is. So now I am in my Repl.it system. I can start creating my first code, and let me create the first code. How to do it? I can come here. They call it create Repl.it, and I'll be very slow. When you click there, you get to this page. Now, first thing, there are the languages that you can program in. Repl.it is a great platform. I know the person who owned it because I had a chance to speak to him at some time. He's an amazing person. originally from Jordan. So there's Java, there is Java FX, there is HTML, the Python, Node.js, all these C Sharp, C++, C, other version, C Sharp, Bash, all these languages you can program in without needing to install anything. It's not only a program, you can create a full application, you deploy it, you charge people for it, they subscribe, they do everything. All you can do here with this one. See how many languages, and they're adding more and more and more to come. So you just select Java. Make sure you select Java, and instead of you going program something else. And then here you can come with anything. Before I do that, I need to do something which I think important to do. So you are, let me move this one from here and do that. Okay, so let's do that. Let's go and create, and later we'll do. Okay, so we'll come here, you select Java, you give it a name, any name you like to call it. First example, I'll call it, yeah? This is the project name. This is not the file name. This is the project name, okay? And I want it to be private because I'm working on my own code. I don't want people to know it, but I can share it with others if I want. So others can work with me. And later we will do some group work where group of you can work on the same project. But now I leave it private to do. And let's do that. So because I selected Java, it went there and did for me the following. This is where it is. Now let me explain the interface. So we'll go and do the coding. First thing here, these are your files. The files I have only one file called main.java here. But this main.java is under a folder called Java, under a folder called main, under a folder called SRC, source code. SRC is for source code. So this is where my code, see the code I'm dealing with. So it's main.java, that's the file, okay? Now I can upload other packages and files later. I'll create additional, I can create additional file from here. I can create a folder to organize the code, and I can do all this from here. Okay, for the moment, I don't want to do anything here. This is one thing. Then the other side, in the middle, there is the code. So I am open now on main.java because I clicked here. This is the main.java, okay? And let me just make it, delete this one and delete this one to make things easy for you. Then I'll bring them back later. So if you look at our main.java, and just make some spaces, I have public class main. This is main, so the file name is main. If I change this file here, and it will not work if I change the name, because the file called main, so this one has to be main, okay? So this is the one we had. This is the public, the main method, okay? Public static void main string argument, and this is the start of the method. Let's have more spaces. Spaces makes things better. So this is the start of that method. And this is the method here, which is called print hello world. Okay. So this is my code. If I run it, I will see the outcome come here. This is hello world came here. So this is the console that run the code. Okay. There's something called shell here, which you can run some command like in your Windows or Linux terminal. You can use shell. Will not need to do it, but you will. You need to know it's there. Okay. So finish the file structure, the file we are opening here, and then the output come here and the shell. Okay. Now there are other tools down here which they have, which this you need them later if you want to publish your code, so others can do it. So you can deploy it, you put authentication access to it through Google, through others, you create some databases to store the data, and you can control other thing. There is also an AI integrated with it here, which you can do many things for. You can ask it questions, it will explain to you the code, or say add this line, add that line. We'll come to it, leave it there now as it is, and there are other things you need to do. We'll come to that when we need to do that. Let's focus on our main. Now we have one line now displayed hello world. Let me change this one to display my name instead of hello world. Yeah, and my say age. Okay, let me say age. What is my age? I'll give myself nice age, which it's not true. I'm more than that by 15. Okay, and then maybe the address. I can put my address here. This bubble will suggest to you the code. Yeah, it's good, but okay. Abu Dhabi University. See, these 3 lines I added here. If I click run, they will come here. Yeah. So this sequence, yeah, this is just a sequence. I can say here, add to this one name, colon. I can add to this one age. This is a good thing. Age. I'll explain this one. And I'll have here address. I'll explain it. Just don't be, let's make this one bigger. So because the name is just a text, so I added inside name, colon, inside. The age is a number, and we'll come to something called data type in a minute. It's a number, so I cannot put age inside the quotation. So I have to have age in a quotation, but the number that represents the age is separate, and I have the plus here to do. Okay, the address, I can do that. And this way, when I do it this way, when I print it a little bit, looks better maybe. See, the age, I made an issue here. The age is attached to the number. How I can fix it? If I add more space here outside, it will not make no difference. It will still the same. The only way to do that, inside the quotation, I have one more space. Now, if I rerun it again, you will see the age is now coming better, okay? And things like that. So this is basically the sequence of my code. So I have added the sequence. So the system print is a very simple one. It just, you say system.out.print, you need a quotation for any text and no quotation for numbers. Quotation means this one here, yeah, this one. You know it, but that's want to make sure you know it to do. So text has to be within quotation, the numbers without quotation to do. And this way we can just print this simple code on the screen, which just display for us this thing. Okay. Now, if I make a mistake, I just want to show you a mistake. I forget this semicolon. Okay, because it's important to learn how to debug your code. And let me clear this and click run. See what I'm getting here? I'm getting read, important to read. Error, semicolon, expected. Telling you the semicolon. Where is that semicolon expected? Expected to be here after this. So now follow that and come and add the semicolon. Now if I run it, it runs without error. So now you know how you debug your code, this at least semicolon. That's one of the errors that you can get. Let's think of another error, okay? Assume I just didn't add plus here. I did like this, okay? And I did run the code. So what I'm getting now here, saying to me, bracket is expected. Now this is one of the areas it will confuse you. There is no bracket expected. What expected is plus to do here. And that's plus. Sometimes it gives you not the right advice for it, okay? And now do that, okay? Now, if I miss a bracket. Now let's miss a bracket. Not okay. Now this is right. There's a bracket expected to be here, and then I go just and add that bracket to do. So this is what we call it debugging, finding the errors. There are two types of errors you will get in your code. Okay, one, what we did now, they call it syntax error. Syntax means spelling error, or you're not following the right structures of the language. You're doing something different, missing bracket when it needs bracket, or semicolon, or typing the name of the method wrong, like println, if I write it with P uppercase. Let's do that. Let's do it here. Do it P uppercase instead of lowercase. I'll get an error. This is a syntax error because I typed it wrong. P has to be lowercase. Java is case sensitive, means anything uppercase, it's different from lowercase. They are two different things. So this is a syntax error call. I made an error in typing my code by missing something or use the wrong thing, okay? And this will, your code will not run if there is any syntax error. It will give you an error and tell you it's not going to run. So it's the easiest one you can make a mistake in is the syntax error because your code will not run. But there is another thing called logical error. Logical error. What is logical error? Logical error, if your code is correct, there's no spelling mistake or anything, but the logic is wrong. Like, for example, if I'm calculating, adding two numbers to each other, x and y, I should say x plus y. If I said x minus y, for the programming language, this is fine. It will run everything, but the logic is wrong. So the logical error is more difficult to catch because you need to follow the logic of your code. So these are the two errors you can get in. Now, any questions? Let me stop here because maybe some of you are getting some challenges, and then we'll come back and do some other examples, which better example. This is a very simple example. So I have with me Mubarak. Please, Mubarak, tell me what you want. What your question is.
Yes.
Unmute your microphone, Mubarak.
I have a question about how to. I know I joined the
Mubarak,
replica.
can't hear you, Mubarak. Okay.
I joined the
Any other
replica.
questions you have? Don't use the Q&A only. Speak, please, because when you speak, I get more confident if you understand or you have some issues. I need to hear you speaking, everyone. Are you all okay? Tell me in the chat if things going fine with you or you have some problems. Mubarak is speaking, but I'm not hearing Mubarak. Oh, sorry, Mubarak. I'm sorry, Mubarak. I think my microphone, my speaker was low. Go ahead, Mubarak. Repeat.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I can hear you.
I wanted to tell you how to enter the Java to code because I now joined the replica website. I sign up, and I wanted to know how to get inside like the Java coding.
Very good.
The main Java.
This is very good.
Yes.
Okay, I'll do that. Shabab, everyone, if you stuck anywhere, don't allow me to continue with the weight raising issue. This Mubarak raising is important because I want you to know how to do it. And I can repeat it multiple times. We have time. Why we don't repeat it? So let me go from the beginning and let me go to here. Now, when you log in, you get this page like this. Not exactly because I have so many things there, but you will get a page like this. So how you can start your first? You click on Create Repl, this one. It opens this window. You need to select Java. There are two Java. There's Java FX and Java. Select Java because Java FX is different thing. And you just click Create. Then it will get you here into creating it. Now this is where you are. Now, these additional green things, I'm deleting them now, but they are important. We'll talk about them later. So this is my code as the main function, start, end, then the main method inside, and I have this print hello world inside. And this is how you get that, okay? Amr, Amr, can you unmute and speak, please?
Hello,
Yes, hi, how are you?
I'm good. So I have a question. What's the difference between coding and Python, and what's more important? What's more effective, coding and Python?
Okay, okay, let's start by coding means programming, okay? Python is coding, Java is coding, C is coding. Means you write code, What language you write code in? There are different languages. I explained the one we're using now called Java. Java is a programming language. Why we're choosing Java? Because if you go into computer science or IT or computer engineering or engineering in general, most university will have a course on Java. So we want you to get started familiar with Java. Now, why we choosing Java, not Python? Each language has strength in certain areas to do. And based on that area, people select the language, okay? So if you do, for example, more data analytics and visualization of data, the best option for you, Python. But if you do create iPhone applications or Android apps or other, Java is better option for you because Python will not be able to do that. Okay, if you are creating web applications like Amazon and those things, okay, there are other languages can help you better with that. When you get an HTML and PHP and so many other languages, including Java server pages and many things. So each language is strong in one area. And people need to learn more than one language because in their application, they may need to use that language more than the others. Okay, so all of them coding, but today we're doing Java because of the reason I explained to do. And if you learn Java, we will do Python in 4 days. Python will become very easy for you because Java is more strict, has conditions and rules to ensure security, ensure functionality, ensure other things like that. Okay. Thank you. Stephen,
Yes. So I want to ask the question, can we change the file name?
in Repl.it, you cannot. If you outside, you can, yes. But in Repl.it, the main one has to be main. But I can add other files. For example, I can add another file here. I call it student.java. And later I will write some code related to student, like student name, address, registering him in a course and dropping a course or getting some a certification. I can, but the main one has to stay main in Repl.it. And if you use Visual Studio Code, so I think someone mentioned here, you can name it anything you want to name it. It doesn't have to be main. But Repl.it, design in a way to have it as the main. And you can create so many other classes. One, I'll call it course here, course.java. See, I can do many, but the main one has to stay main. That's where it is, and Repl.it. Okay.
And if we
Sorry, yeah.
sorry.
You have
So
another
if we
question?
change, if we change the file name, it's going to automatically change the public class name?
No, it will not. Yeah. So if I come here now and change this one, rename it and call it car, for example. Car. Then stays here, not car. I didn't even accept to change it. But if I can here have public class student, Okay. Let me just do this for you. So I have a class here called student. If I come here and rename it to anything else, it will not change it there. Let me rename it simply by saying student 2. It will stay here as it is. It will not do that. Sorry, I'm doing something wrong. Yeah. Now I changed it to student 2, but still here student. And you can see became red. Means because it's not matching. It has to be exactly the same. So the file name and the class name has to be the same. Otherwise, you will get an error. This is the
Okay,
rules
thank you.
put here. Okay. Aisha? Aisha Gan. Mubarak, I think your hand is up. If you are done, then you can raise your hand, lower your hand. Okay, on the questions, I can see not that many. Can establish connectivity. We'll come to that minute. Okay, so let's continue now doing our practice. You notice that I added 2 classes, but they has nothing to do with my main class. I did not connect them. So I can delete them or keep them there. I hope you will not get confused about them, but they are additional thing. Let's now do something else. Now we have seen how we can use system out println, okay? And I have put for you a few practice things you need to do, like create a program that print your name, age, and hobbies, okay? That's something you can do. Write a program that print the result of basic mathematic operation. Let's do this one together, which basic mathematical operation. And the last one, just do some like chatting or someone. Anyway, let's do that. Now let's add 2 numbers. We write a code that add 2 numbers. Very simple, but just get you the logic. Now I have 2 numbers. The first number is X and the second number is Y. Okay? Or A and B. Just simplify it. How I can do that? I need first in Java to declare the variable. Variables means something that will change. So what variables I'll use? I'll use something called A and something called B, and I add them together. So to declare A, I need to say int A. Now int A, and if you want to do something there, int A, what does that mean? Means A is an integer number. What does mean integer? Integer means a number that has no decimal point. And this is good when you're counting people. For example, if I say how many students in this session, it's 170. I cannot say 170.5 because human cannot be 0.5. Yeah. So there has to be whole number. And if it's a whole number, you should use int. Okay. To say this variable will store integer number. Okay. So let's do this and make it very simple. Int A, say the first number is 20. So now int A equal 20 means I have a number called 20 and B equal 10. Okay. And B equal 10. Okay. Sure. Now what I want to do, these are 2 numbers I added now. Let me add them and say int sum equal A plus B. Okay. Now let's leave it like that. So what I did so far, I declared 2 variables. First one, A, I gave it value 20. Second, B, and gave it value 10. And I have semicolon at the end of each one. And then declare something called sum. And I added the 2 numbers together. Okay. Now I want to display the outcome, the result of this one. So I need system.out.println bracket. Okay. I can use this way, which already suggested to me, but I will delete it and we do it again together. So I can say only sum here, for example. Okay, let's do this. So this code has variable A with 20, variable B with 10, have variable called sum which actually A plus B, and then I have the system statement. If I run this one, what I'll get 30. 30 is the sum, okay, of the two. If I change this one and make it 15, okay, and run my code, I'll get now 25. Of course, it's not good to change it in the code. We'll find a way we can allow the user to enter the data from the keyboard, but that's the next step because I want you to know the basic. So if I come here and add 0.1 and run the code, I'll get an error. Why? Because A is declared as integer, and integer cannot have a decimal point. So it's not accepting it. So it's saying, this is what it's saying, error, incompatible type. Types are not the same. Possible lose conversation from double, and give me an error there. Because I said it's end, it has to be with no, even if I put 0 will be wrong. 0.0. If I put 0.0, I'll get the same error. It should have no decimal point because I said it's integer. Okay, that's good. But some, I can make some, for example, double. What does mean double? Double doesn't mean doubling it. It means it can have a decimal point. So if I run the code, it will give me 25.5. 25.5. Now, if I decided to make this one double, because I need decimal point, and this one double, and I came here and said 0.3, now if I run it, I'm getting 25.3 because 15.3. Now you know this data type is important. Integer means whole number. Double means you have decimal point. There are other, there's something called long, there is something called byte, there's something called chart. We'll come to them when we need to come to them to do. This is called data types. Data types, Boolean as well. Okay,
So,
now, yes.
so how can we check the type of the sum? Like, because I know how to do it in Python, but I don't know how to do it in Java. We can check the type of the sum, right?
Yeah, the type, you can check it by looking if it has a decimal point or not in Java. That's the way you do it, if it has a decimal point or not. But there is other way to do it in coding. You add additional code, not like Python. In Python simplified many things. But here you can look at if you divide it by number and there's no remaining value, and you take the int of it and subscribe. More complicated to do it here. But the data type comes up clear from the result. If it
Okay.
has a decimal point, then that's double. If it
Double.
doesn't have, it's integer.
It's in
But-
integer.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you
Very
so
good.
much.
Thanks. Okay, I can see the other hands on. I'll go back to people. Yusuf, Yusuf, you have question? Yusuf, أيها الصديق. You are on mute, Yusuf,
Yes,
maybe.
yes.
Okay. تفضل.
If I want him to print the steps how he solved this equation, like if I want him to print 15.3 plus 10 equal 25.3, not only like the answer.
Yeah, you can add statements here. This is, you need to do that. You can say, but this, you can add here system dot out dot print ln. You need to do it yourself by typing it here. So, say, for example, you can say sum equal, sum equal, let's put equal here. That's here, okay. Let's add plus here, a, then plus, I'll show you the space here. I'll explain it in more details. I'm doing it, then I'll show you what I mean, how I did it. Okay, plus here, a plus, okay, and we'll add plus b. This will look nice. I like your suggestion, but I think it will confuse most people. But I will explain it. Now, if you run it here, look at how it came. It came, oh, I have, this one should be equal. This gives you almost the steps you're looking for, saying sum equal 15 plus 10 plus 10, the total is that. Now, if I change this one to be 23.8 and then run it again, you will see it say now 23.8. So how I did this one, sorry?
Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, let me explain it so others will not get confused. So how I did this one, I just had a print statement. I need to display sum equal. I put sum equal in quotation, okay? Has to be in quotation, okay? Now, after that, I need to display the value of A. So I put plus A. If I do only this one, what will come? This, let's clear the screen and run it again. When I did only this one, I had sum equal 23, isn't it? Let me add a space here and run it again. Came sum equal 23. Now I need to add to it plus. So I come here and I need plus to be displayed as it is, okay? As plus, not as a calculation. Now, when I did this one now, let's hide this one, so we don't need that. So let's look at now, sum equal 23 plus, because the plus added. Let's add now the B. We put only B here, okay? And now, when we did this one, it came complete. Sum equal 23 plus 10. This one you didn't need, but I added just to help Yusuf to answer his question. To do, but it displays the things on the screen in a better format, I think, I have to admit. Okay, Adnan. Adnan, yeah, Adnan, you are on mute, Adnan. Yes, now you can speak. Adnan, I can't hear you. Maybe your microphone is not working. Let's move to Hor until we, Adnan, you fix your microphone. We can't hear you. Hor, or you are on mute.
I wanted to ask that why did you type again system out dot println bracket sum? Like after typing the code for the complete sum equation, why did you type sum again?
You mean this line?
Yes, the line after this line.
Oh, the line after this line. Okay, very good. Let's delete these lines, all of them. Now, if I run the code without that line, what will happen? Nothing will come on the screen. And let me clear this one. And this is a good question for nothing. What happened now? The computer calculated the sum and stored it in its memory, but I didn't ask the computer to display it on the screen. So it kept it in its memory. It's somewhere in the memory. To display anything on the screen, you need to use system.out.println and then the thing you want to display. Okay? So when I do this, a semicolon missing. When I do this, what I said, okay, you calculated all these things done by the computer in its memory. Here I said, okay, put it on the screen, display it on the screen. Then it does. If I don't do this line, it will stay in the memory of the computer and will not see it on the screen. Is it clear, Hor?
Yes, sir. I have another question as well.
Yeah, please.
What are the brackets used for?
Sorry?
What are the braces used for? Like you put two braces.
This one and this one?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Did you come from the beginning or you come a little late?
Sir, I was 5 to 10 minutes late.
Okay, no problem. Now, these braces tells the computer to organize the code. For example, the first phrase here, this one, tells the computer that the code for this class main starts from here and ends here. This is where it is. This is where it is, okay? So this is the start of the code of the main. This is the end of the code of the main, okay? The other one here, these two here, if I delete this one, these two here, it tells the computer or the computer that the main method starts from here and ends here. So your code should be grouped into blocks. Each one is a block. This is the block of code. Yeah. From here to here is a block. From here to here is a block. Each block should be between those two braces. Otherwise, we'll have an issue. If I add another brace here now by mistake and run my code, it will give me an error. If I delete it, it will work perfectly. If I remove one and run it, it will tell me there is something missing. It has to be equal. The number of open braces should equal the number of closed braces. You have one here open, then I have one closed here and one closed here. So this tells the code, the structure of your program. Okay, let's move to Stephen, you are back. Then Stephen, then Zuhair, then Zain, then Muhammad, then Nawal. Let's go with that sequence. Stephen.
Sir, do we have to do everything in the public static void main
Yes.
in that second block?
Yes, we have to do everything inside here for a moment, but later we will create another one similar to the public and we'll call it. For example, I can create another function called calculate sum of two numbers here, and I put the code in it, but I call that function from here. Don't confuse yourself now, we'll come to this later. But at the moment, our code is very simple, very small. We don't need to structure it and put it in different function and methods because it's a very simple. But when it grows, we'll start breaking it down into blocks and methods, and then putting these methods in classes and organizing our code. But at the moment, you need to do everything inside. But the main method is the where everything starts. Regardless of how many you create, you must have the main method. Otherwise, your code will not work. Okay?
Sir, another question. You said public static void. Void means it won't return, it won't display something,
Yes.
right?
Void means it will not return anything. We will later see in the methods, there are two types. One that return data and one that doesn't return data. The one that doesn't return data is void. The one return data, it have a data type, double, integer, float, object, whatever it is. And also there is something related to the parameter, just some function without parameters, some with parameters. We'll come to all these things. This is very great you thinking this way because you're anticipating what should be there. And this is good, but we will come to it. But the void means it returns nothing on this to the caller function. Okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Zuhair? Zuhair, unmute your microphone. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, can we do it for fractions as well? The
Yes,
sum.
you can. Yes, you can do with fractions. You said you can we do it with fractions? What was your
Sir,
question, sorry, sir? What was
sir,
your
my
question?
question was, can we do it for fractions as well, the sum?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can, and we'll do it later. I'll show you later how we do that. Okay, next is, have another question? Muhammad Hadif. Muhammad,
What does args mean?
args.
Yeah.
Args, this means a variable. This can be anything. I can call it X even. I can call it anything.
Oh.
Args means argument, means data that will be provided to the function later. But it can be anything. If I call it X, it will work as well. It doesn't have to be args. String means this should be a text.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, that was Muhammad. That was Muhammad, who was here. That was, I think.
No, that's Muhammad.
Oh, Muhammad. Okay, thank you, Muhammad. Then I have Aisha. Aisha.
Yes, sir. So is it all right if we remove the double before sum? Like the data type before?
No, it's not right. It will not work because in Java, you're coming from Python because you know Python. This is why you're asking. Python, you don't need to put any data type. Here, you must. See, if I put sum without, it will not work. Any variable you use here, you have to declare it in advance. This variable is integer, it is string, it is text, it is object. You have to decide. Without doing that, it doesn't accept it.
Okay.
And yeah, so the double is must be here to be there. We cannot have. Okay, that's
And
good.
how do we declare to be string if we want to?
Yeah, you just use the word string, like
Just string.
it's a string, okay, name, for example, and you can put here something like this.
Okay.
So this is a string declared. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thanks, pleasure. Noel. Nawal, you are unmuted, but I can't hear you. I think something wrong with your microphone, maybe, or using headset, or I can't hear you. Let's move to Ahana. Ahana. How you pronounce your name, Ahana or Anna?
Sir, it's Ahana.
Ahana.
Sir, I had a doubt. So for Python, we can do a menu-driven code. Can we do that in Java as well, or is that not
Yes.
possible?
Yeah, you can do menu-driven code. Yes, we will do it later. You can do menu-driven code. You can do menu and you can do graphical as well. You can create application that you can visually click on it, like Windows and things which you're using. Yeah, you can. Any other question? Okay, then. Aisha, your hand is still up. If you're done, you raise the word. Then
Sir,
Anas,
I just want to know one more thing.
tell me.
So on Java, how do we input text, or will you be telling that to us later?
We will do that. We'll use something called scanner. We'll do that later.
Okay, thank you.
Anas.
Yes, sir. Let's say you run a code, it shows you like it shows one error or two error. Can you make the program itself show you where the error is located, or do you have to reevaluate the program itself to check for the error?
The compiler, usually what come on the right will tell you what is the error. For example, if I missed a semicolon here and run it here, if I read this one here, most likely it will tell me what is the error. So it's saying to me here, there is an error on line 10. This is line 10. And expected, semicolon expected to be. And this is where it's expected. So I should come here and add the semicolon. And then if I run it, it will run smoothly. So usually it tells you here what it is. Sometimes it's confusing, but it does. But if you want, you can share your screen and show me your code, and then we can look at it together. You want to do that? Or you just put the code in the chat. Take screenshot of it and put it in the chat. I can look at it and tell you if there is something need to be fixed. Okay. Sure. Adnan?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. So there is something from Hamad Hadif on the .java. Yeah, it should be the Java. Yes, Adnan. Go ahead, Adnan.
Alright, so it's quite a simple question. How do you multiply or divide
Oh,
these?
very good. Okay. Okay, that's very good. Let's add another one to this one. Let's add another variable called double difference. This is the difference. Okay. Double product is multiplying. Double uh, divide. Okay. And then this is how we do it. So if you can say sum equal b and then difference a minus b, product or multiply, you just use dollar sign, means you multiply, and then you can divide by using this, and then you can now display this. Let's make it looks better. Say sum sum equal, and here plus sum. That's one thing. Okay, this is done for the sum. Now it's smart. Yeah, it will do for me the remaining. Okay, so this is basically, if I run this code now and do that, yeah, I'll get there is an error double. Yeah, this double is double. Now it should be correct. Now here is it. So this is the way to do it. But later we will look at the sequence of operation, you call it. Yeah, sequence of operation is important, and we will look at it later. I'll come to this one with more details hopefully tomorrow.
Alright, thank you.
Yeah. Okay, good. Who else I have? Anas, you did. Anas, are you still? Please, when you speak and you're done, just lower your hand so you can know that you don't need to come back to you. Aisha, Ashari. Unmute your microphone, Ashari, and let me know your question. Did anybody put anything in the chat?
Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I hear you clearly.
So when I put the code in, let's say student.java,
Yeah.
in my case, it is not able to run that particular code. It's just running the code which is in main.java.
Correct. Yeah, I like when you want to go faster than me. This is very good. Yeah, it will not run because you need to do something to call it in the main function. You need to call it from the main function, otherwise it will not run. But this I'll do next time. It's another. When I do object oriented, we'll come to this one.
I just thought I could use like different tabs for
You will.
programs.
Yeah, you will, but I need to explain some certain concept before I jump there. Otherwise, the student will get confused. And I don't want them to get confused because I know students, when they get confused, they hate the thing. They say, oh, this is bad. So I don't want them to get confused. So to avoid, they hate it. But we'll go step by step. Yeah, thank you for that.
Okay.
I have back Stephen on the page. I'm going by the order on Teams. The Teams give me a number 1, 2, 3. Based on the one name that comes one, I'll call one. Yeah. But I know Stephen has spoken multiple times and had asked number of questions, but that's fine. All good questions, really, Stephen. Go ahead.
Sir, I noticed in the fifth line, we instead of saying string arguments, we said string x. Why
Yeah.
or how?
Yeah, I think someone asked me this question, what is that arguments? I say this can be anything. It can be X, Y, Z, anything. Arguments is what generated automatically by the code. And most people use that one. But if you call it anything, call it X, N, M, Y, anything, it will work. Your code will not change.
Can I even put space and it will work?
What do you mean space in between and two like this?
Like instead of any character, I just put the space bar.
No, space bar will not work. Space bar will not work. If you do just space bar like that, it expects from you something to come here. And this thing should not have a space. For example, I cannot say student name like this. This is not going to work. It has to be one thing. If I want to call a student name, I just do it like this. Student name. I can use lowercase like this one, but I cannot use dash. Yeah, I have to use lowercase to do. So it has to be a variable, they call it, and or parameter in this case. And this parameter can be anything. It can be R, can be X. Let's put it R just for the formality to do. Yeah. Okay. Again, we will come to this, Stephen, when we come to the method and functions. We'll be creating multiple of this, not only R's, can be R's plus other things, and we'll deal with them in a right way. But we'll come to that. Yusuf.
Yes. Doctor, I didn't really understand from the line 15 to 18. Can you explain it quickly, please?
Very good. This lines, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, let's take them one by one. Now, if I want to display the sum on the screen, let me do it this way. Just say sum. Yeah, let me cut those so you don't confuse you. Sum like this, okay? Let me run the code and see what will come. So I'm basically getting a number here, 33.8, which actually the sum of the two numbers. But getting a number like that on the screen without any label or any information is confusing the user. So what is this 33.8? If I want to add to it some additional thing, I can use quotation here, okay, like this, quotation plus, and inside the quotation explain, say, for example, the sum of the two numbers is like this. So I added a text inside. This text, because it is between quotation, it will be displayed on the screen as it is. So if I run the code, what I'll get? The sum of the two numbers is 33.8. Okay, so this is a way of formatting your output. Okay, so what we did here, we said just only like the sum equal. If I just use sum equal and run my code, it will come sum equal. So basically, between quotations, you can add a message that appear on the screen to make the data or the number appeared on the screen has a meaning, and the user of that application or software can understand this is the result. And you need to put it between quotation. Now, you need to use plus to add the number to it. So this number came because I have here plus added to the text, basically saying display the text plus the value of sum. I'm here saying play this text here I have plus the value of sum. The same thing for the remaining in the difference between the two numbers, because here diff is the difference of two numbers, a minus b. So I said difference equal and then plus difference. The same thing, product equal, and here we use product and use product here, and content equal content, same thing. And that's how it is. Is it clear now, Yusuf?
Yeah, it is. Thank you.
Very good. Now, just before I go to Zuhair, I want to show you something. I said Java is case sensitive. If I put some here S uppercase and run the code, I'll get an error. Because now this S uppercase here is not the same as this one I want to display here. I'm calculating get some here and I want to display. This is error. This is wrong. Either I change this one to uppercase, okay, or change this one to lowercase. So the two should match. In Python, this is not important, but here it's important. You have to use the same case. So sum here, okay. Now, what's about this sum here inside? This sum, if I put it lowercase, will it cause an error? Will not cause an error. Why? because this is just a text displayed on the screen. It can be anything. It can be anything like this. If I run, it will come as it is. It has nothing to do with the value. This is just a message to the user. Better to display the message to the user in a way that the user will understand to do. Okay, so Java is case sensitive. Uppercase, lowercase are important to keep them the same. When it comes to variables, which we dealt with variables today. Okay, Zuhair. Zuhair,
Yes,
unmute
so
your
my
microphone. Yeah, okay, go
so
ahead.
my question is, if A is 5 and B is 10, then the difference will come in the negative number. So
Correct,
will it
correct.
be the double difference? Or?
Correct. This is good. Let's do that. 5 and 10. Okay. Let's see the difference. Come. Is minus 5. Isn't it correct? Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. That's a very good question. Okay. Now we look at other thing. If we put B is 0 and try divide by 0, that's something we'll come back to later. Okay. Thank you, Zahir. You can lower your hand if you're done. Zaim.
So my question was that I've previously done Python, and in Python you're able to, in the print statement itself, do the mathematical operation. Can you do that in Java as well, or do you have to do it before doing the print statement?
You can do it in the same place, yeah. For example, if I can take this one, let me remove the sum completely from here. Okay, there's no sum. And in the sum, we'll come here and say A plus B. Okay, and do this, and you'll see what will come. Same thing. But the only difference, you need to put this one between brackets so they come as a number. Yeah, that's it. And you can change it
And
anything. 0.6.
also,
Yeah.
sir, in Python, there's different concatenation methods as well. For example, you can use plus, and then you can also use a comma. Can you use commas in Java as well?
No, you need to use only plus. In Java, you need
All
only to use
right, sir.
plus.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, good. Yeah, this is a very good that I can see a number of you have already done Python. So Python will be more interesting when we get into Python. But learning Java make learning Python easier. As I said, Java is well structured and has so many constraints that make things different. Jashel, please correct me how I should pronounce your name.
Sir, it's J shell.
J shell. Okay. Okay.
So in Python, there are certain words or certain symbols that we cannot use to name variables. So what are those? Is it the same for Java?
Same thing for Java. You cannot use for, you cannot use if statement, you cannot use switch as variables because these are already being used by the language. There are certain keywords that already part of the language. You will not be able to use it. Void, for example, static, using it as a variable. Yeah, same. In any language, those syntax are part of the language itself. It cannot be used for variables or for naming methods or functions in the code. Yeah, same thing.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sidara. Sorry for not pronouncing your name right, but Sidar is your turn and tell me how I should say your name.
Oh, yeah. So it's just called Sid. So Sid will be better.
Okay.
Sir, can we have like inputs in Java, like input from the
Yes.
user?
Yeah, we can get input in the users. I was planning to do it today, but yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it either today or next time we meet. Yeah, you get input from the users and similar to all other languages, but we need to use something called scanner. So you need to add just, I need more time to explain these things so people do not get confused, but you need to import something here called import Java utility scanner, and then you can use it to get the data. And there are a few more steps we need to do, but we'll do this next time, and it will become very clear to everyone. Okay, Yusuf.
Sir, can you give us some questions we can like make it alone when this session is end? Like it's only
Yes.
like been 10 minutes and it will finish. Like, can you give us some questions?
Yes, I'll give you many questions of this one. Um, okay, let's give you a question now. I will send you by email many of these questions, but we can do one now. Assume we want to do an insurance company. Let's store this one. By the way, I can share with you this code, but don't change it, please. Okay, we'll be sharing. You will have access to change it, but don't change it. I'm just going to put it in the chat, so for your future reference, you can use it. It's in the chat. You can access it from Repl, and you can run it, and you can do whatever you want to do with it. So let's go and create another one, and give you an exercise, and then okay. Let's go there. Let's do an insurance company one. I want you to try it yourself. Maybe let me write it in the chat for you, or explain it. Okay, let me do this right. And okay. I will generate for you more, but let's do one thing. I want you to do an app that, an application, very simple application, has two things. Okay, let me clear this one and make it explain what. So I want you to do two things. One is you enter or you create a variable called age. Okay. I'm going to type it on here. Yeah, so let me do it here so you can see what I want. Okay, let's come down here and create another window. Okay, so write a Java code that calculates insurance based on the age. Okay, if your age is 60 or above, I want you to now to think using if statement. Then the insurance will be 500. Okay. Yeah, let's do this here. Insurance. Okay. Okay. If less than 60, the insurance will be 300. Usually young people, they give them, they don't charge them a lot because they will not get sick that much like us. Huh? Okay, so this is an exercise we want to do. One of it, we will learn how to use if statement, and then the other one we will be able to practice more. So what do you think with this exercise? And it's a very simple one.
So could you tell us how to input
how you can, okay, I'll show you
Teacher,
how to do it. I'll tell you, but I want you to think of an example like this one, how we can solve it.
Okay.
What are the steps we will take to solve this problem? Now, you see, programming first is not the coding. Coding is the easiest one, is the logic that you would have in your mind and the step-by-step solution that you will use to solve the problem. If you know this, you will do the code. If you don't know this, regardless of what language you know, you will not be able to do it. We need to think of that. And this is what they call it, algorithm. Algorithm means you need to take things step by step and first. I'll give you the algorithm for this one, or we'll think it together, okay? And then we will go to the code, okay, before do it. So to solve this problem, which we have here, we need first to know the age, okay? So we need a variable, we call it called age, which is double, yeah? So we need, I'm doing the steps, I'm not doing coding, I'm doing the logic, because I want you to know the logic, because you will do the code if you know the logic, okay? This is the first one, okay? Second one, we need to check if age is more than or equal 60, okay? If yes, then display insurance is 60, okay? Else, if it's not that, then display insurance is 300. This is insurance 600, or what do we say? 500, okay. This 500, insurance 500, okay? Insurance 300. So actually, this is the algorithm we need to think of. So this what we call it algorithm. You keep hearing algorithm. What is algorithm? Algorithm is not sophisticated thing. It's just a description in human language of the steps to solve the problem. So the algorithm here is, we need to get the age. We need to check if it is more than or equal 60. If it is, well, it will be 500. Else it will be 300. Now, because I didn't teach you if statement, I will show you how to do that, okay? But later you will be able to do it. And let's do that one. First, we'll come with, what is all this? I don't want all this. Why it created all this? We'll come with the variable double called age, okay? And we'll put here 45, assuming, okay? This person is 45, okay? Now we will change it so the user can enter the data. And this is what you're asking for, how we can input the data. But let's do it without user enter the data, and then we'll do it. Now, then we come with if statement. This is how if works. If age is more than or equal 60, if it is more or equal 60, then you have a brace here. We don't need the brace, but I'll add it just. Then we will say system dot out dot println. Yeah, and don't need all this the additional thing here. Let's like do this, okay? Then we'll display 500. Okay. Now, if age is more than or equal 60, we'll display 500. Now, the else, if it's not, then we'll have something called else. Else, we don't need this one, but I'm adding it. Then 300. Look at this code now, which we did. Very simple code. Double age is 45. If age is more than 60, it will say 500. If age not more than 60, means lower than 60, will display 300. Now this code, what it will display at the end? It will display 300. Yeah, why? Because age is less than 60. Let's put age 60 now and run that one. It displayed 500. Okay, if it is 65, how much it will be? It will be 500 to do. Now, instead of having this number here, let's do asking the user to enter the data. That's what you're asking, okay? So to do that, we need to import something from the Java library, okay, called scanner. See, import, this import is important thing. Why? Because as I said, Java has millions of libraries, okay, that already created and ready for us to use. If I want to use it, I need to use import and call that library. So I'm calling something called scanner, okay? Let's make this one with no value. And let's come here, we have scanner. So let's create an object of scanner. This is how it works. Scanner S equal new scanner. This one should go there. And then now I have enter the age, and then age equal this. Okay. So all these things I need, these 3 lines I need to allow the user to enter the data. I will explain it more next time we meet, but now I'm just showing you how it works. Now, if I run this one, now it will ask me, what is your age? If I say 55, it will tell me 300. If I run it again and say 70, my age, it will say 300, okay, 500 to do, and so on. So these 3 lines are needed just for the user to enter the data. If I delete them and put here just the value, like 66, that's again is okay. It will work. But better to have a way the user enter the data in a dynamic way. So what we used to do was not the best option. This is the best option, is to do that. But this thing you need, I will explain them more next time, but they are very simple. Basically, we are importing the scanner from the library. We are creating something called S of type scanner. Remember here, age is of type double. S of type scanner. The data type is not only numbers and text. They can be objects, classes, things like that. Anyway, so S now we will be using, and this is a message to display to the user, enter your age, and then this line is using S and using something in S called next double. Well, I will explain this until you just understand it next time in a better way. But now you understand this is, but again, future, if you want to use anything similar, you can just copy these 3 lines and change only age to something different, and the message here in the middle to something different. If you want to be able to enter their salary, you can say enter your salary, okay? And instead of age here, you can be salary instead of this. And this is the next exercise I want to give you. Let's give you another exercise, which assume calculate, write a Java code. We're almost done with our class, 2 minutes, but this I'll leave it for you. Java code to calculate VAT. Do you know the VAT? When someone purchase anything with certain then anything, then you should calculate the VAT based on the cost of his or her items. You know, in the UAE, the VAT is 55%. And if you are in UK, it's 17.5. That's my time. I can't. I think it's still the same to do. So basically, what we need to enter the amount, the total purchase, multiply it by 0.5. That will give us the VAT, and then add the VAT to the total amount. Okay, item and display total VAT and total amount. This one does not require if statement. Okay, this is just a simple calculation. So can you do this one? Let me get it cleaned for you, just to be cleaned and bring it back here. This should be an easy exercise for you to do and practice it and show me how you do it. Now, good thing you can go to our friend ChatGPT or AI and say, give me 5 exercises similar to this. Okay, so I take this one here and take it to ChatGPT, create 5 exercises similar to this. Okay, and I paste it there. I'll bring it back to you if I do that. It will create for you 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, and it'll give you the code, but say, don't give me the code. Please don't give me the code, because you don't want the code. You want to learn. Give me the code. Don't give me the answer. We're not interested in the answer. We need to learn. We need to find it ourselves. Isn't it? It's still doing it for me. But you can use something like this to do that. I'll just put the prompt here. Oh, it's dead. Very nice. Okay, let me copy this. This another prompt you can use in ChatGPT to help you generate more. So if you have one questions given to you by your teachers and you need 5 similar to it, this is what you do. Go to ChatGPT and say, create 5 exercises similar to this. Okay, write then say here, don't give me the answer. It will create for you these exercises and you can practice it. Okay, I think we covered really very good things, and I can see there are more hands up still there.
Sir,
Yes.
will you give this exercise to complete also at home?
Sorry?
No, will you give us any exercises related to Java to complete in the house?
Yes. I just gave you now, I'll send you this slide, which I have here. I added one for you here, this one exercise. I want you to do the VAT, but also you can use ChatGPT to generate more. I will generate some and send it to you. I'll get Ivy to send you some more if you
okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you everyone. I have another meeting I have to go to or prepare for. So thank you for today. I really enjoyed your questions and discussions, and I'm very happy to see that you are interested, and this is really great. So we'll continue doing this day after tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Bye, sir.
So
Thank you.
I had
Thank you,
one
sir.
doubt.
Yes, tell me.
So
Tell me.
when I try to do the same code, it gives me an error when I import java.until.scanner because it says that it doesn't exist.
Yeah,
So
are
do I
you
have?
using Repl or using some other thing?
I'm using REPL.
Yeah, it should. Maybe the syntax is wrong. Maybe use import with uppercase, or scanner you use lowercase. You need to use exactly the same
Java is a full
lowercase. Java
lowercase,
lowercase. Yeah, Java
until
lowercase.
lowercase,
Yeah.
and then scanner just the S is uppercase, right?
Yeah.
Oh, it's util. I was saying until.
Util, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Good. Okay, thanks.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sir,
Okay. Yes.
sorry. So, for my question, I've never done coding before, so
Okay.
this is quite new to me. Is it okay if in the next class you could explain the codes that we've done so far?
Yes, I will repeat it and do it. I think you are not alone. There are many who seem to be
Yeah.
coding first time. I will repeat it. Repeating things is good. I'll do that. Yeah, no issue. Also, watch the video. We'll
All
be
right.
sending you the link to the video, so you can watch the video. It will be useful as well.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you, sir.